Hey guys, thank you for coming out for your signature product. I love that so many came out live. I'm really surprised about that this afternoon, that so many were able to come and show up, and I'm grateful. Thank you for being here. And also, for those of you who are watching a little bit later, make sure that you've got a notebook out, that you are taking notes, that you're focusing on what we'll be training on. Everything's not going to be on the screen. So just make sure that you're taking notes on things that I say. I might give you some points that won't be there. So when you're scrolling through, you're not going to see the points. You'll actually need to write those down. So for those of you who may be new, we had a lot come through Facebook this time. So I'm excited about that. But I also know that that's the sort of thing where people are like, I don't even know if I can trust this guy. Who is this, etc. Well, we're not going to spend 20 minutes going over my background and heritage like you see on so many webinars. I will tell you that I've been in online business since the late 1900s. I've created 25 signature products. That's $97 or higher. 134 regular products. That's less than $100. I've written 8 books. I've given 2,500 plus speaking engagements. I'm a writer for the Huffington Post and for Entrepreneur Magazine, just to give you a little bit of background there. And then that's it. That's all we're covering about me. You can go to paulbevans.com if you want to learn more, paulbevans.com. So when it comes to your signature product, it creates an income stream based on providing high value to your market. Now, I really feel like too many people are undershooting their value. They are not really tied into what they're bringing to the marketplace. They've got a low belief in themselves and in their value because they see somebody else doing something similar and they feel like it's already been done, or they feel like that person knows more. Chances are that person is just marketing more effectively. And what you really need to do is believe in yourself and your value and bring that to the marketplace. It allows you to leverage what you love the most about your niche and about your market. I love personal development, so I get to leverage that. I love online business. I leverage that. I love public speaking, and so I leverage that. All of those are components of my training that I put out there because those are things that I'm really encouraged about, that I really love, and that I enjoy, and it makes a big, big difference. Jennifer says, yeah, I feel that a lot of people are doing what I do. Thank you for the encouragement. Absolutely. I do not want anybody to feel like it's already out there. The minute you feel like it's already out there, that somebody else is already doing this, go to any bookstore or go to Amazon and type in your market. Why are there tens of thousands of diet books? It's already been done. Why are there tens of thousands workout books? It's already been done. Why are there tens of thousands of landscaping books? It's already been done. Why can you go in and find 20 books in a physical bookstore on Teddy Roosevelt? Hadn't everybody written about him already? Hadn't everybody done that? Yes and no, because they haven't heard your perspective on it. They haven't heard your experience with it. So it's critical that you're not locking into the false belief that it's been done. It's not been done your way. It fulfills your responsibility to take your knowledge and expertise and help others. This is a big driver in my life. I personally feel, this is my personal conviction, that the lessons that we've learned through life, positive or negative, that we've got a responsibility to help other people with those lessons. So that any losses or painful things that we've been through, I believe that we've got a responsibility to help other people avoid that or to make it through that. On the opposite side, when we've learned how to do something, I think that we need to share that as well. So your signature product is a process that you're learning about right now and a product that I deliver because of the responsibility that I have to take my knowledge and experience on creating so many of these and sharing it in a way that's going to be valuable to other people. And you can do exactly the same thing in your market. And I think that you should. A signature product's priced between $97 and $997 completely separates you from the ocean of pseudo products on the internet. We live in a day and age where anybody who wants to just about can throw up a product seemingly overnight. You can go out and buy content. You can go out and get a license or permission to use somebody else's content, and you can put it up and sell it for $5, $10, $20, etc. But when you get to the $97 to $997 level, that's when you're really bringing the goods. It separates you from all of your competitors. I guarantee you, in your market, you're going to be able to look and find hundreds, if not thousands of competitors at $100 and less. You're not going to find a lot of competitors at $100 and more, because most people feel like 100 and above to charge for something, that's when it becomes real. And it does. And so I'm going to show you on this webinar step by step how you lay that process out. So we've got to be focused on what we're bringing to the table. So here's really the problem overall, and there's several. Number one is that most of us just have too many ideas. When it comes to the products that we want to create and the things that we want to do, we've got too many things going on in our head, and we're wondering how we're going to put them all together. Secondly, even if we decide on an idea, we've got too much content, too much material. We're trying to figure out how to put every single ounce of it in, and we really don't need to. But we feel like, if I leave this out, we're not focusing on necessity, we're focusing on volume. When it comes to your product, you want to focus on necessity. How fast can you deliver the solution, not how much of the solution can you deliver, all right? So keep it super tight so that you're actually delivering the solution and you're not trying to do everything under the sun. Keep it so tight that you know when people come and do this and they follow through, they're going to get it and it's going to make a big, big difference. On the opposite side, and this is rare, but on the opposite side, sometimes I feel like I see people giving too little. They kind of feel like I've got this great idea, but you start outlining it and you realize you don't really have a signature product, you just have a regular product. I would still develop it. I would still release it. I just wouldn't release it at $100 or $1,000 or more dollars because it's just too little. So sometimes that's going to be the problem. I don't want us to really dwell on that one because I don't see that happening too often. We just want to make sure that we're not trying to force entry instead of just pricing it where it needs to be. Another problem is to me, like, who am I to do this? What right do I have to create this product? I'm a nobody. There are so many other people who know so much more. A part of the signature product that I've put together is called the More Principle. And the truth is that in your marketplace and in your niche, if you've been there any length of time, you probably know more than 80% of the people. And you do know more than anybody who's just coming into your marketplace. Absolutely. So let's say out of 10 that you're a level 5. What happens is that we get trapped, worried about 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we think, well, I can't release this. I can't serve this market because I've got all these 8s out here and all these 9s out here and all these 10s out here I'm competing with. But you're not serving 6 through 10. You're serving 1 through 4. So focus on 1 through 4. That's where you're delivering your value. Don't get wrapped up in people that are not part of your product stream. Okay, so the 9s and 10s won't buy your product. Big deal. There are always more 1, 2s, and 3s than 4 through 10 combined. Always. There are always more beginners than intermediate and advanced. If you have something that is advanced and you can market to say the 8s to bring them up to the 10s, do that. But understand that when you're going for the 8s, you've got to leave the 1s out. So design your products in a way to match your market. But don't discount yourself. Don't think I'm not number 1 in my market, so therefore I don't have a right to make this product. Not true at all. Instead, know exactly who you serve. There are many of my products that are aimed at 1 through 3. Why? Because they're searching and they want something new and different, and they've got the most room for growth, and they're the most excited, and they buy and make the biggest strides immediately. It's a great group to serve. So don't worry about who am I, and I'm not an expert and I'm not an authority. The real question is, do you have the ability to deliver the goods? Here's a soft example. So let's say that you've got a friend that lost 50 pounds. And you see them and you're like, wow, I cannot believe that you've lost 50 pounds. I need to lose about 20. What did you do? And they start telling you what they did. Here's what I know. You're not going to ask them, even if it was a stranger, you wouldn't say, well, before you tell me how you lost the weight, I need to see your degree in nutrition. Now, before you tell me how you lost this weight, I'm going to need to see that you're a certified trainer. We wouldn't do that. We would see somebody else's result, be excited about it, and want to know what they're doing. Same thing with our product. When we're displaying that we have reached a certain level that someone else hasn't, that we've done a certain thing that someone else hasn't, and we can be their guide, it takes away the resistance and the have to have this huge credibility and be the expert in the field, because they simply want someone who is doing the thing that they want to do, and they provided evidence that they know how. So don't get wrapped up with too many. And then the final problem is that sometimes we just get too confused. How do I put all this together? How do I outline it? How do I design it correctly? How do I make sure I get it in the hands of the buyer in a way that's going to be easy for them to consume? So all of these things we can get wrapped up in. Here's the great thing about this component. Every single aspect of product development, taking your knowledge and turning it into a product, every single aspect of a website, or uploading or downloading of a file, or putting a video online, all of these are skills that anyone can learn quickly. We live in the best age. I mentioned that I started my online business back in the late 1900s. Listen, it was rough. You had to understand like HTML coding and figure out things from scratch. It was painful. It was more than confusing. It was completely overwhelming. But we live in an age now where literally things can be dragged and dropped. And with a few clicks, we can have sites set up, membership access areas arranged. It's so much easier. Now, inside Signature Product, I actually show you step by step how to do all of those things. But I'm just telling you that it is not a difficult avenue to move from confusion to absolute mastery in the skill set. It does not take long at all. So I don't want that to feel like I don't even know how I would put this together. It can feel confusing, but the great thing is we live in a great time when all of that can be taken out of the way. So here's the process, and I hope that you guys do not think low of me because of what you're about to see. I love to simplify everything. I don't believe in making it complex. I don't believe in making it more difficult than it is. And so hopefully you will not think that I'm in any way underestimating anybody's intelligence. And I certainly hope you're not going to underestimate mine. Here is the process. People are unhappy with something, or there's a pain, or there's a problem. They're wanting something to be different. Where they want to be is over on the other side. They want to be happy. That's what they really want. You're going to take them from unhappy to happy. That's what our products do. And it's a process. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, however you want to arrange it. But this is what we do, is that we take people from their pain or their problem to a place where they feel better. And it could be that it's totally based in knowledge. It could be that it's based in confidence. It could be that it's based in a step-by-step process, but it's moving them from unhappy to happy. So let's do a few examples of those. If you guys wouldn't mind typing in some of your markets, areas that you work in, and we'll just show you how this works in a very simplified way so that it not only makes ultimate sense, but you can actually see it in play in your market. Okay, so first I've got Shirley, who says that I work with authors and help them write books. Okay, so basically you're taking ideas from people's heads and you're getting it into their hands in a book, right? They're unhappy. They've got all this stuff in their head that they want out and they want a book. And you take them to happy, where all of these ideas, these concepts now exist in the form of a book. And you teach them the process from getting where they are, bridging the gap gap to where they want to be. Makes a big, big difference. So Jeff says, and I'm a consultant, and I help consultants grow their business by 3 times. So I would say with Jeff, you're doing something like, okay, so they're unhappy with their income, and you're going to move them over to being happy with making 3 times more, right? It's not really sexy. That's not a sexy, cool phrase, but it's exactly what you're doing. So they're unhappy with the amount that they're making now, and you're going to move them to where they're happy with the money that they're making, most likely doing the exact same amount of work or less. That would be your promise, I would guess. Jeff says, yeah. So you're going to move them from where they are, overworked and underpaid, to working less and making more. That's exactly where they want to go. Let's see who else we've got here. Latanya says career transformation. So they're in a career or they're in a place in which they're unhappy and they don't like it, let's say, and I'm just making this part up. Obviously, I don't know Latanya's business, but they are not in the place where they want to be, not enjoying their work, not rising the career ladder where they feel like they deserve to be. They're not reaching their potential. So she takes them from being unhappy in their work to not only enjoying their work, but impassioned by it, feeling fulfilled, satisfied, and significant. So she's bridging the gap there. Greg says, new manager and supervisor training. So here come people into this new role. They could be a little bit arrogant that, let's say that they got this new position, but at the same time afraid because there's so much to learn. It feels overwhelming. They're not sure how quick they're going to be respected. They're not sure how quickly they're going to be able to gain access in the new role and be able to really go fast and furious and hard through it. And so he's going to move them from unhappy to happy, I would think, in a certain amount of time that would transition them really rapidly so that their time period, their gap of stress and overwhelm is going to shrink dramatically. And they're going to go from feeling extremely burdened to extremely empowered and encouraged in a short amount of time. Yep, Greg says he is shortening the learning curve. I love that. Jennifer says, I'm a web designer and would like to have a product, but I'm having a hard time finding what other people need help in web design. You know, Jennifer, you think about what they need help in. Overall, what are they unhappy with? They're unhappy with the look of their site. They're unhappy that people aren't staying on their site longer. They're unhappy that nobody's reading their articles. They're unhappy that nobody's opting in for their email list. They're unhappy that they've done all this work, but they don't seem to be getting any results from it. They're unhappy that some of their friends go to their site and aren't impressed by it. And so they move into happiness that now they've got this functioning platform. You've moved them from simply having a website to having a platform where their dreams are exhibited and where it comes to life. Right? And let's see, there's Connie who says that I work with dog owners, new puppy owners, to house train their dogs. Okay, so, basically, you're helping people get from the unhappy of a dog peeing in the house to the happy of being potty trained. And you're bridging that gap. And the more rapid, the better. Speed is almost always in here, guys. The faster we can help people get a solution, the better. And then let's see, Mike says personal development, helping people become more productive. So I would say most likely the biggest problem is that people procrastinate. So you're going to move them from procrastination to productivity. So what we're doing is taking people from where they are to where they want to be. So I'll give you an example of this. One of my products is called Launch Your Year. It includes the 5 Stones High Achiever System. And I take people from where they are, not reaching their goals, to where they want to be. Now you're thinking, well, that's been out there forever, goal setting. And so I do differentiate myself slightly. And the way that I do that is that the average goal setting product is created for people who are disciplined. People who wake up first thing in the morning and do what they said they would do. However, myself and 80% of the population, or 90%, or probably 98%, don't do that. And so I created a program for the undisciplined. So, that's a little bit of a twist on it, right? But what does it do? It moves people from unsuccessful goal setting and reaching to successful goal setting and reaching. So that's what we're doing with our products. I hope that's not dumbed down too much. I hope it doesn't oversimplify it for you too much. I just want it to be clear, and I don't want this to feel like that we're doing something mystical. We're not at all. So we want to keep it simple and focused. One pain or problem, bridge the gap fast. That's it. Don't try to solve every single pain or problem. Solve one, bridge the gap fast. So someone like Jennifer, it may be that, overall they've got their website, but their real pain or problem is that their website it's just not getting them the attention. It's not that platform. So that one big problem could be that they're invisible, and the one big solution is that they're unavoidable, right? So that's a big movement for people. So Greg shortens the learning curve. They're unhappy with how long it's going to take to get all this. And he comes in and says, look, we can do it in X, Y, and Z time. And suddenly it's like, whoosh, wow. If you're saving people time, if you're saving people money, if you're saving people effort, it's a winner every single time. People love it. All right, so here's the path. How do we actually put this together? So there's 4 components and then a little bonus component to the path of creating a signature product. Number 1, it begins with discover, and you might want to take some notes on this. I don't have all these bullet pointed out. So it begins with discover, just like we talked about. You got to know what the pain and the problem is, and you've got to know what the solution is that you're going to bring. Then you want to name that. Notice that I named my goal setting program 5 Stones. I did not name it goal setting. I named it. I gave it a technology. I gave it a system name, the 5 Stones High Achievers Intensive. A little bit lengthy, but at the same time, it's named for what it's going to be producing. So you want to discover exactly what it is that you're going to be doing, what you're going to be solving, and you want to discover how you're going to name this thing to make sure it's going to connect with your audience. And then you want to discover your content. Again, don't overthink. Think in terms of this is where they are, this is where they need to be. What are the minimum number of steps that need to take place to get them there? Not the maximum. What are the minimum number of steps to take them there? All right, so number 1 is discover. Number 2 is to go deep. So you begin by getting your content together, having your name, knowing what the solution is, understand the problem, and now we're going to go deep with it, and we're really going to dive in, and we're going to organize it, and we're going to format it so that now the minute that they buy it and they see, let's say, quote, the table of contents, they see the outline, they see your modules that you're going to be leading them through, they immediately say, this is for me. This is exactly what I want. They're saying out there that we don't judge a book by its cover. We kind of do, but we definitely judge a book by its table of contents. The minute we open that book up, we'll look at that table of contents and it either resonates with us and we go, wow, yeah, this is for me. I love that, and that. Or we go, I don't know. I don't know if I really like that. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not that interested. When we go deep, we're going to format and outline our content in a way that's super attractive. So go back to 5 Stones. I've got literally 5 stones are part of the program. So there are your milestones, cornerstones, stepping stones, tombstones, and firestones. Now, if you've not been through the program, you don't know what it is, but it's not unattractive. You look through and go, module 1 is milestones. Okay. We start visualizing what that could be. Number 2, module 2 is cornerstones. We know that that must be something that supports everything else in the system. Number 3 is stepping stones. That must be the plan. Number 4 is tombstones. That sounds like it's dangerous. Number 5 is firestones. This must be something that's really going to be close to my heart and keep me on fire, keep me focused, something along those lines. So it ends up being attractive because of the format and the way that it comes together so that people can look at it and say, yeah, that's for me. So that's what you want to do with your product separate. Secondly, is when you start looking at it, phone ringing, is that you want to make sure that you're putting it together in a way that is so tight and so clear for 2 reasons. Number 1, for you. For you. I just rattled off my 5 stones because they're anchored deep within me. I know these things. I created this content and this system. If I'd named them something odd and long-winded, chances are I would not remember it. I wouldn't be able to train on it very effectively, and I wouldn't be able to tell other people about it rapidly. You've got to be able to do that. You want to be able to go deep with your design, with your outline in a way that really connects. Secondly, you want your people to be able to remember it as well. You want them to be able to connect with the content in a way that gives them confidence, gives them assurance, and makes them want to be part of it and actually go all the way through your product to get the result that you promised. Number 3 is design. So this is when we make it look cool, we make it look good, we make it attractive. I should have put 5 stones back up on the screen again. That's an attractive package. It didn't cost much to put together. It was not expensive. The website did not cost a lot put together, but it's designed well so that it speaks to those who want to get that particular product. So you want to design your product, you want to have your graphics, and you want to have your production in a good design. So number 1 is your graphics. You're going to have your header. You're going to have your packaging design. You're going to have a design for each one of your modules so that people come in and they are visually attracted to what you've put together. So that's one area of design, it's your actual graphical elements. The second is your production elements. This sometimes is when people get a little bit nervous because there is high production out there today. I see a lot of people's products who are through the roof production value wise, and they're hiring people at like $25,000 to $50,000 for a video shoot. Guys, I shoot everything on my iPad. I spent years looking for the perfect camera so that it would look so good and so tight and so, awesome that I would feel like it was impressive. And then I found out I'm never going to get it done if I try to make it perfect. So I started filming on my iPad. I use a little plug-in microphone. The audio is great. It films in HD. And no, it doesn't have the movie-like fuzzy background, but that's not the goal. The goal is not to produce a movie. The goal is to produce results. And so in your production, you want to design it in a way that people can watch and enjoy. So there's several options. Number 1 is to do something live like what we're doing right now. Do a webinar, record your product while you're taking your first set of students through it. And some people are terrified of that. I often have to do it to get me moving. Every one of my major products that I've created, every signature product, I did basically on the fly through 4 to 8 weeks, depending on how long the course was. So I recorded it live as we held the webinar training, recorded the screen just like I'm doing right now, and that became the product. So you don't have to go into this crazy level of a production of weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. You can literally create some slides in Keynote or PowerPoint, display those through a webinar, record it, and it becomes your product. Another thing you may want to do, like I just mentioned, is record on an iPad or a camera and do live teaching. It's recorded, but you did it, face-to-face type of training. And number 3 is that you could do straight screen capture, that you're not doing a live component and you're not capturing yourself on video. You're just recording the screen. You've made some PowerPoint slides, some Keynote slides, or you're doing a demo of a piece of software. You're recording your screen as you're taking people through the process. Put those recordings online, sell access. Because what are those recordings doing? They're taking people from where they are, unhappy, to where they want to be, happy. So you want to design graphically, and you also want to design production-wise. And then some products, you may not do any sort of filming at all. You might do straight recording, audio, get the transcripts done from that, and have worksheets. So you may not even use video at all. It's not mandatory. I like it because I tend to think people are visual when they've got time, and they love the MP3s to be able to take with them when they're on the go and on the road. And then number 4, you want to deliver your product. My favorite way is through a password protected members area, but that's not the way that it has to be. It works a little bit better when you're doing something at a higher level like 97 to $1,000 because people get to log in and they get to go through it at their own pace and they get to skip around and do the modules that they need when they need them. It makes it so much easier. Or if you're doing a live student version, you may meet every Monday and then in the webinar room, and then every Thursday may be a Q&A for your people. The key about delivery is that you, again, do not try to overdo it, simplify it. The question is, how quickly can I get this content into the hands of my customers? How quickly can I get this into their hands? How easily can they consume it? We don't want it to be difficult. We don't want it to be challenging. We want them to be able to log in, watch the videos, download something if that's a part of the program, but we just want to deliver it. You do not have to have the most sophisticated system. You don't have to go out there and pay for $1,000 a month membership software extravaganza. I use WordPress and a plugin called Wishlist Member. I bought it years ago when it first came out. I think now that it might be $200. There's something called I think WP Member that's like $50, and you can even find free plugins that will absolutely protect your members area. So for the cost of WordPress, which is free, your hosting, which is probably $10 a month, and a membership site plugin that you can find for free or pay a little bit for, you can literally have your product delivery system put together for $10 if you did it all yourself. No, that's not crazy at all. And if you decide that, hey, I want the full-blown signature product, I take you step by step through every single bit of that. So you're not like, well, how in the world do I set that up? I show you how to set every ounce of that up. And then at the end, you obviously deploy it. Once you have it all together, and you could be launching it piece by piece, or you could have everything in the members area and you just launch it, you deploy it. And you guys should be accessing right now the signature sequence that takes you step by step through actually launching your signature product. So that's how you learn to prime your people, prime your audience. You promote the offer, have people profit through the result that they get, and you profit through the exchange of funds that you get. And then you propel. You decide what's going to be the next level and how we're going to take this to a higher level. All right. So those are the 4 steps you want to discover, go deep, design, and deliver on your process. So that's, those are the key components. Before we go farther, are there any questions about any of those? Anything that I need to dive into deeper? Any questions that you have about any one of those components? Discover, go deep, design, deliver. So those 4 components are what you utilize to actually put together your product. You discover what it is, the problem, the solution, you name it, compile your content. You go deep by organizing, formatting it in a way that makes you confident and makes your customers confident. You design your graphics, you produce it, either live, screen capture, video, voice only, transcripts, handouts, and then you deliver it. You sell access to a site. You could deliver it by email. You really get to choose. The key is that you're going to get the solution into the hands of your people as fast as possible. All right. So the profit. Let's say you sell one. There's a lot of people out there. I grew up in the day of the $7 ebook. This shows my age. This is back early 2000s, where everybody was selling $7 ebooks. It's hard. It's hard to make a living off $7 ebooks. I'm not playing. That seems obvious, but I've been there. If you sell one at $100, you make $100. You sell one at $500, you make $500. You sell one at $1,000, you make $1,000. Really simple math. If you sell 10, you make $70 if you sell a $7 product. If you sell 100, you've made 1,000. If at $100 you sell 10, you've made 1,000. If you sell at $500 and you sell 10, you make $5,000. And if you sell 10 at $1,000 per month, you make $10,000. These numbers, sometimes people come in here and say, if you sell 1,000, you'll make $1 million. You know, it's tough. It's tough to sell like 1,000 of a product. It's tough, but to sell 10 a month is not that tough. That's a doable number. So these are numbers that I think really can be replicated and really make sense. And you can see the vastness of those. So some of you may be thinking, hey, I want to do a $100 product. Cool. You know, try to shoot and make about 1,000 a month from that. Some of you are like, I've got a product that's worth about 500. Good. Sell 10 of those. Make 5,000 a month. And others of you are like, I can do a $1,000 product. Perfect. Sell 10 of those, make 10 grand a month. And it may even be higher. It could be even higher than that if your market will sustain that. And it is something that your market really, you know, feels like this is it. Okay, so type in what level product you think you have on your heart right now. You're thinking about your product, something you've been dreaming about. How much do you think you could charge? Do you feel like $100 is your level, $500 is your level, or 1,000 is your level? Okay, I've got 100, 500, 100, 100, 500, 1,000, 100, 97, 97, 100, 100, 500, 1,000, not sure, 500, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. That seems like a lot. 100, 500, 100, 100, 100. Okay, good. Good, guys. All right. So, first of all, one of the things that those of you who are around 100 all the time, then, you know, we've got to make sure that we're stretching ourselves and our belief system. There's not really a lot of difference between the $100 and the $500 product, and there's not a lot of difference between the $500 and $1,000 product. We've just got to make sure that the frame is clear and that our result is going to be clear. And someone says, I'm scared to charge high. Yeah, it can be very scary to charge high. It can feel, because we feel the pressure as is this worth it? So what I would say is it worth it to you? If you had this problem that this other person has, what would it be worth to solve that if you were in their shoes? So let's take Shirley, who works with authors. Just about everybody out there wants to write a book. And I've written several books, but it's still not easy to do. So if someone gave me a formula for writing my book, let's say in 30 days, and I know how difficult that can be, and there was a like private Facebook group for encouragement, and there was like a weekly group coaching meeting that I was going to be part of, I'd pay $1,000 for that. And probably back in the day, before Shirley was able to train people to become authors, back in the day, she probably would have paid $1,000 to do that. So reverse yourself and say, if I was in my average client's shoes, my average customer's shoes, if I was feeling the overwhelm that they feel, if I was feeling the reluctance that they feel, if I was feeling the unhappiness that they feel, and I could trade money to gain this level of experience, of knowledge, of know-how, of results, would I trade this amount of money for it? It's a big shift, right? Because when we're taking it personal, I don't know if I deserve to get paid $1,000. That's totally different than, would I be willing to pay $1,000 to gain this result? Most of us would if we took ourselves out of it. We've just got a problem with feeling like, ooh, I'm taking their money in exchange for this value and I hope that it's worth it. Well, it is worth it if you're on the opposite side and you're going, yeah, I'd love to be over there. I'd love to be there. I'd gladly trade $100. I'd gladly trade $500. I'd gladly trade $1,000 to get there. All right. So we've definitely got to change our mindset and our behavior when it comes to pricing. So what's this come down to? Two options. Number one, you can do it slow. You can go through the 4 steps that I've laid out. piece it together? I absolutely believe you can do it. I believe that you can take the time, do the research, put it together, and get your product out there. I have no doubt about it. I just think it'll probably be slower than you want it to be. So the other option, obviously, is to do this fast, to get your product out there, to get it online as quickly as possible. And that's why I've taken all the 4 components that we've already covered and have put them all together step-by-step fashion so that you can just go and access it, do the lessons, get the result super fast. So signature product is these 4 elements. And let's go into each one of these a little bit tighter, and you can ask questions any point along the way. Module 1 is discover. So you're going to get the secret recipe, which is really what we've already covered, that it's about unhappy to happy. I give you the 5 foundations of a killer signature product, the monetization matrix of maximum value. If you're worried about how in the world do I figure out what to charge, then I show you how to discover what to charge. And there's even an extra resource called Big Profits, how to charge big for your knowledge. So there's an entire extra bonus resource in there. The core concept, content drafting for unlimited ideas, the key 3 that give you the right to charge the big bucks, and what never changes in any market that leads to profit. So I outline that for you as well. And then over here on Discover, this is what you'll see when you log into the members area. You're going to see live training week 1, because the first time I did this, it was live training. So you'll get that replay. You'll get the Kickstart replay that got people launched immediately. You'll be learning how to run the bases in your business and in your product, the secret recipe, the 5 foundations, the more principle, which is going to give you that courage you need to know that you need to serve a certain segment. You don't have to serve everybody. The 3E signature, the top 3 problems in your market. Once you know these, you can go back to them time and time again. Monetization matrix, core concept, content drafting. And then I did a weekend Q&A workshop that you'll actually have access to, and what you'll discover is a lot of the questions you have will actually be answered in that workshop. Number 2, we're going to go deep. Purpose, positioning, passion, patterns, passage, points, proof, practice, and pricing. And a Saturday bonus session that I did is in there as well. So we're going to anchor your market's core purpose, lay out your product so buyers say, I'm so glad I bought this. We'll infuse passion and energy for connection between you and your audience, blow the buyer's mind right out of the gate, how to ensure your people take action and get results, putting the pieces together so that you're thrilled and you can't wait for people to get this, and then how to price for maximum income and value. So by the end of, I said week 2, but really you could cover it all this weekend if you wanted to. You'll have every element of your product organized and formatted. You'll be filled with confidence, and you'll be anxious for people to buy. Module 3 is design. Where to get a sharp graphic designer. Step by step to produce your product. How to create your signature product on the fly if you want to do that. A simple, non-traditional approach that'll save you time, energy, and heartbreak. Tutorials of all the low-tech, simple ways to create your signature product, plus advanced elements too if you want those. 3 formats for your signature product that fit every single learning style. So by the end of week 3, or even this weekend, if you're like a go-getter and crazy, you'll have your product ready to sell. Graphics and content will be ready for customers to consume and get results. So everything step by step. I show you how to package it, how to get it designed, how to design your slides, how to record and edit, how to do live action, how to do screencast, how to do a webinar, how to draw on your screen. If you wanted like draw notes on your screen, I show you how to do that. And then how to be audio and transcript driven. All of that is step by step. It's not simply an overview. You go deep and you actually get all the techniques. And then delivery, how to set up your site for sales, where and how to host it, how to protect your product from thieves, setting up your checkout system, plugins to save you time and frustration, 3 ways to make more profit from the back end after you've sold them your signature product, how to sell more, and setting up modules and navigation. So you get the live training replay again, site setup, plugins, modules, hosting, checkout, and access. How do you actually get money? How do people check out? Upsells and cross sales. And then there was a Saturday bonus section as well that you get access to. So all of this covered in detail. And then you already have signature sequence, but it's inside the members area as well. And you get the bonus of how to build your list. So where are your people going to come from? How in the world do you get people on your email list? How do you invite them to a webinar if you're doing that? How do you make sure that you can market to them over and over and over and over again? So this is a bonus that is inside the members area as well. So here are the normal prices. Obviously, you're not paying this today. So the normal prices are for the self-led version is $1,000. I mean, I'd be crazy not to charge $1,000 when I'm teaching you how to create $1,000 product. I don't even know why I'm laughing at myself, but that would be insane, right? So $19.97 is if it's going to be coached with me, that we work together. Again, you're not going to pay that today. $49.97 if you wanted to get together with me and come out to where I live and we work on your signature product personally. You'd still get the home study course, obviously, but then we'd go through every single section, discover, deep, design, deliver, and we'd map the whole thing out so that you were ultra confident. Now, if you do decide on $49.97, email me at paul@paulbevans.com. I don't have a link up for that today, but if you'll email me at paul@paulbevans.com if you want to do the $49.97, just let me know. But for today, for the purpose of this webinar, it's $497 for the complete program. And what you'll do is you'll check out, you'll create your login, and you'll get started. And everything that I just covered is in there step by step. So $497, if you go to paulbevans.com/SP1, it's $497 for instant access to everything. If you want me to help you, to coach you for the next month where I answer your questions personally, then it's $997. And that's paulbevans.com/SP. $497, paulbevans.com/SP1. $997, paulbevans.com/SP2. All right. That is the overview and the concepts and the process and the path, the problems and the profits for signature product. If you've got any questions at all, type them in right now. If you've got questions about the VIP day for $49.97, you're more than welcome to type those in as well. There's not a discount on that one. That's just straightforward. You and I spending a full day together, rocking it. And then you get support 6 months after that to make sure that everything's in play. I become your consultant and your coach for 6 months after that. And you get instant access to the home study immediately. And then we just set a date to get together that's convenient for you. Any questions about any of this content, guys? Scrolling through, don't see any yet. Perfect. Jennifer says, is there going to be a replay? Absolutely. I'm going to email that out to everybody in just a bit. paulbevans.com/SP1, paulbevans.com/SP2. If you want to ask me about your product, if you're wondering if it's valid, if you've got an idea, feel free to type that in. We can talk about it before we sign off. All right, let's see. Yeah, Jennifer, if you've got more questions, just email me at paul@paulbevans.com. paul@paulbevans.com. Guys, thank you so much for coming out today. Go and put this into practice. I'd love to be able to help you with it if you need that help. Otherwise, take the notes that were shared today and go and rock it. Please, when you get your signature product developed, email me, paul@paulbevans.com. I would love to see that and to celebrate with you. It's a big thing to get that out there, to make a difference, to make an impact, to change lives, to help people out of their problem, to lead them to a place where they feel a lot better, they feel secure, they feel locked in, they know that they're confident, they're moving from the place that they are now to the place that they want to be. It's thrilling to do that. And I know that that's your heart, and I know that's exactly what you guys are wanting to do. If you have any questions at all, email me, paul@paulbevans.com. Hey, Shirley, thank you. I see that Shirley's already ordered. Awesome. Thank you, Shirley. Perfect. There's another guy on here named Paul that just ordered. Thank you, Paul. Good deal. Cheryl says, I'm in. Can't wait to be coached. She did the $997. I was just coming over and checking some of my stats real quick. Awesome. Good. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming out today. If you got any questions at all, just let me know. Rob is in. Thank you, Rob. Todd is in. Thank you, Todd. Kathy is in. Thank you, Kathy. Good, 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 good. Okay, guys, those of you who are already in, I'm going to email you in just a minute to confirm that I received that. I want to make sure that you're able to access everything. Can I find you on Facebook? Absolutely. Facebook.com/Paul B. Evans Live. Facebook.com/Paul B. Evans Live. All right, guys. Those of you who are continuing to order, I'm going to be helping you out personally. The rest of the day, I will be here answering your questions, making sure that you get it in good, and I'll be over there in just a second. Guys, thank you so much for coming out today. If you got any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, 497 paulbevans.com/SP1, paulbevans.com/SP2. I'll be sending the replay out. As always, success is not an accident. Be blessed.